Going.
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Definitely.
Good.
First of all, explain to them where One Punch came from.
Well, One Punch was a name that was given to me when I was 12 years old. And how I got it was I used to always fight all the time, and I was fighting in the streets. But the interesting thing about me fighting in the streets was every time I fought, the crowds got bigger and bigger. So one day, I started fighting, and I'm in front of my door, and one of my uncles was there, and he heard the commotion. He came outside, and he broke up the fight and put me in the house. He said, "Man, why you always fighting?" He said, "If you fight so much and you like to fight, you might as well go to a gym and get paid for it, man." And that was the very first time that I went. The next day, went to a gym, and I never looked back. And as I started boxing, the trainer started calling me One Punch, because one part of me was a boxer and another part of me was a puncher. They saw that I could punch real good to be a young kid, and then I could box. So they put it both together and they called me One Punch.
So one of the things that is fascinating, I met you down in Philly, going down to Philly, met my family from Philly, and I had a chance to, I just started seeing you around, what I'm saying? Everybody, One Punch, One Punch. But you have this saying, and I'm everywhere, you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that. Like, first of all, let's get it correctly how you say it.
Everywhere when you never there.
Everywhere when you never there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was a phrase that actually came from Jay-Z. Jay-Z used that phrase in the song, but he also, and people were saying, early on, "Oh man, you using Jay-Z verse," but Jay-Z was actually talking about me in that verse, because if you know him and you got a personal relationship with Jay, but everybody that know him, that he talks in scriptures and in code, is decoded. One of his first books was called Decoded, because each rhyme or each saying came from a real meaning.
Right.
So when he talked about it in one of his verses, he said, "I'm everywhere when you never there." Then his next verse in the song was like, "Pound for pound, I'm the best to ever come around here." That was him throwing me a oop, like saying, "I'm talking about you. You was in the room. Now you gotta take it from there."
Okay. Okay.
So I was young, and I was like, "Damn, I remember that night and everything." And I'm like, "Yo, we talking a phrase," because that was the phrase that I was saying. I'm everywhere. And
you never there.
And you never there. And he used that phrase. It was like, damn, and it was love, right? And I take it a step further. I had a cousin that was in the NBA. God rest his soul, Rasul Butler. He played for Miami. He played for
I heard
LA.
the name before.
Yes. He lost his life tragically. A few years back in a car accident in LA, right? And
he used to play for LA, right?
Yeah, he used to play for LA.
I remember him.
And he was like a brother. We was like brothers. And he come from we come from a fragmented environment and structure. It's rough when most people don't make it out. South Philadelphia, right? Only at that time it was like one or two was Beanie Siegel, and my cousin Rasul. Every 20 years it breeds a superstar. So, I was, said to be the next star, and my cousin, he was, looking up to me. He was playing basketball.
Right.
Something tragically happened to me that derailed my career, and he went on and made the NBA. He never forgot that. So when I came home, he picked me up. he took me shopping, and he put a large amount of money in my pocket, and and told me like, look, man, whatever you want to do, man, let's do it. So he bought my first boxing outfit and my first pro debut outfit, that I turned pro in.
Mm-hmm. Well, I seen a lot of your belts, and I was surprised because you told me, we've known each other for a minute. You told me you was a boxer, but when people humbly tell you they're a boxer, they usually tell you their titles,
right?
But they normally let you know that they did more than just box.
Yeah, well,
but you was kind of humble about it. You really didn't explain to me that you got 3 or 4 belts. Like,
yeah, I was on the '96 Olympic team.
Okay.
With actually that same team that Floyd Mayweather was on, Zab Judah, Fernando Vargas, and Antonio Tarver. So I've been around these guys all my life.
Right.
And like I said, subsequently, on the eve of me, qualifying for the Olympics, I came home and I, went through some hardship. Somebody was breaking into my grandma's home, with me and my grandma, stayed, at like 4 a.m, and out of, fear for the safety, me and my grandma's life, I fired at the intruder, and, because, like, it's a home invasion. I fired at, and subsequently, shortly after, found out somebody died.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and it was rude self-defense, and then they came back, like nearly a year later, based on my celebrity and who I was, and reinstated the charges, and I went to trial, and then shortly after they found me guilty. So I had like, a 3rd-degree murder, So almost like Snoop during that time, murder was the case they gave me.
I remember that.
And so I was baptized in public, so I had to go through all those things, those ordeals, and and
you had to spend a little time.
Yeah, and the ironic thing about it was I was like the first in my family to ever, become incarcerated. On my mother's side, and on my father's side, we got a big family, a lot of cousins, and they're rough, right? But on my mother's side, and both of my grandmothers were like, they were from the South, so they, very religious ladies and everything, but they didn't understand the judicial arena. And what I'm saying is about that is they only believe, like, that sovereign, upbringing. Don't be giving them white folks a hard way to go, and go in there and we'll be praying for you, and God.
So you didn't really have the right representation.
Yeah, had we had the right representation, it's open and shut situation. When we fought this, it would have been a public outcry. A lot of people, when they look into my case, it would have been bigger than Meek Mill's. It was an outcry, miscarriage of judgment.
Well, one of the things is that they looked at your, being
political profile.
Yeah, you was on an Olympic team.
Yeah, they knew that.
High profile,
right?
And you just didn't have the representation behind that situation.
Yes.
So let's take a little break, man. We'll be right back to Official G.O.A.T Museum podcast, and we'll be talking a little more about, One Punch and everywhere. You're never there.
Never there.
We're live in Las Vegas, so we'll be talking some more. All right. Hey, how you doing? We're back with One Punch in the building, and we're really talking about his career, and one of the things that we're moving past him as, his situation in the past, but we're moving into the future, and I want to talk about just your influence on, first of all, a statement you make everywhere you're never there, and it's kind of, to me, I take it as that you ain't gotta be filthy rich, but you can be everywhere if you really want to. How it depends on how hard you want to be there. You could be whatever you want to do, be whoever you want to be. So, give me your definition of it.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. I just experienced a situation. We were down in Vegas this week, and It was a little kid that kind of blew me away. He always watched me. He was probably about 5 or 6, and you know, kids take a liking to you. You know, when they hearing you say you everywhere. He was like, you know, and they was like, why? He watching it, so he would see me and say, I'm everywhere. And they were telling him, he was watching me the whole time, how, you know, you move, you network, and you get with different people. And now, you know, this weekend, I had a chance to see him with Floyd Mayweather, Young Jeezy, you know, Dr. J, Allen Iverson, and I was blown away because he went and came up to him and talked to him. He did more this weekend than most people will ever do in their whole entire life. And was able to touch these people. And that was off my influence of him just sitting there watching me. And my takeaway and my true, you know, definition was like, wow, you can be anything you want to be. Now these kids don't always inspire to be basketball players or boxers or different things. They can just be all around businessmen. And I'm showing the whole model and mold how to really operate and move in the industry, how you can go and be, you know, an entrepreneur and build your own brand from the ground up. And this is what this kid showed the world this weekend. So I was blown away by it.
Well, you know, I see the influence, and you know, one of the things we're gonna go to a clip about it as well. Iverson kind of shouted you out and
Right.
knew your phrase by heart, like
Right.
that. That's unbelievable, man. To see, you know, celebrities endorsing celebrities. You
Right.
know,
Yes.
so you know, what do you? How do you feel when you see that?
Wow. I mean, Iverson, Kevin Hart, Meek Mills, Iron Mike Tyson, so many people, Mr. Fab, you know, from out the Bay, Bay from the Bay, all these people are really gravitating and seeing this movement and showing love, and it's it's definitely a blessing. You know, and they seeing the movement. I mean, most people don't know throughout the day. I probably hit like 8 to 10 events a day,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, "Yo, do you sleep?" And that's another story. I mean, just to be equipped to be able to be in a room and to be vibrant and to be a present, because you know, not everybody you can get there, but how you gonna act?
Right, right,
Who's going to
right.
be a standout? Are you
Right.
going, you know, just stand there and watch your opportunity go, and then that'll really put you out the room? You know what I mean? What's this guy doing here? Who is he? Or he just standing around?
Yeah, we was in Las Vegas, and that was funny because we was in Las Vegas, and you know, I'm walking around the convention center, tired, you know, looking at the different clothing lines, and you know, pretty much doing some consulting. And you saw Carl Canal,
Talking out.
and you made sure you made a V line to make sure you hollered at him. And I was like, man, I'll catch him the next time. And it might not be a next time.
It might not be a
You know what I'm
next time.
saying?
Right.
So I respect that. I understand that. And I think that's really commendable. You know?
Right. I appreciate that, man.
Definitely.
Campo Diem, you know, which means in Latin, seize the moment. And I never forgot that because
Say that again one more time.
Campo
The people
Diem.
over in the stadium.
Campo Diem.
Campo Diem.
Yeah, which means in Latin, seize the moment. And I've always, you know, it's been times where early on in my career, you know, I've seen opportunities and I didn't act on it. And they haunted me because I had that same mentality or feeling I get to it tomorrow. And that could be with your work ethic, That could be with your business. That could be with anything in life. You got to work like it ain't no tomorrow. You got to be able to go resilient. We'll sleep and rest later. But right now, we got to go. We got to move. You know, and it's been times when I've been lackadaisical and I let the ball drop. And I said, no, I can't never allow that to happen no more. So within my strength and my will and all that I could do, I try to move the ball as much as possible.
Definitely. And on that statement, we'll be right back. The official GOAT Museum podcast. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Official GOAT Museum, man. I like that energy. Only GOAT. Only GOAT. All that big boy. AP on my wrist, that's a big boy prick. Only GOAT. GOAT.
Hey, we're back here at the official GOAT Museum podcast. You got to be a GOAT to be on here. No, not really. I'm just, I just say that, but I like to interview people that are interesting, but also we're gonna have a lot of GOATs on here. If you're a GOAT and you know you're a GOAT, make sure you hit my line. But I want to close out this interview with One Punch. Everywhere that you never there. So let's talk about first of all that I made sure I put this in front of my team, and we decided to GOAT you.
Mm-hmm.
We came down to the Super Bowl, met with you. We're gonna show those videos as well, and GOATed him as the official GOAT for the official GOAT Museum. So I'm gonna need some of your some maybe a glove, boxing glove, or something.
To go in there, right?
To go in there so that because you're the people's choice. You know what I'm saying? You go places and you're allowed to be in buildings and be in rooms like you were at. You were at the fight this weekend, and you were just in the room.
Right.
And you were there, and a lot of people didn't understand how you was there.
Right. Yes.
So in closing, I want you to just kind of take that in. You know what I'm saying? And definitely understand that we want you to represent us.
I appreciate
the
that.
official GOAT Museum.
Yeah.
And you'll be one of the first projects that we want to put in there with the glove, and you know what I'm saying. So I think it's real important because we need in our community, we need people like yourself that is showing there's other ways to get to the top. You don't have to beat your brothers up to get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can be whatever you want to be. Just take on that persona and take it on full force. So
right.
In statement, I just want you to kind of talk to the people about that.
Well, it's definitely an honor to be GOATed. This is official GOAT brand. GOAT Museum. They gave me a whole gift package, sent it to me, and then they gave me an official GOAT jacket, like he said during the Super Bowl, and I was blown away. And it's exclusive because only the people that's GOATed have it. So I'm walking around the Super Bowl with this jacket on, and these people was like, "What's that?" And it made me feel special, but just not only special, just take a moment out to understand that I was selected, out of hundreds of thousands of people for the hard work and the dedication that I've done over the years. And a GOAT is being, somebody that's a game changer, somebody that has, ultimate influence and, discipline, as well as, they're good at what they're doing.
They're committed to their craft. And you know what? The main thing that we really want to bring across with the GOAT Museum is that we need to have more role models in our community. And we don't have enough. So with the GOAT Museum and being in the community, it's going to give opportunity for people to understand that we need you to be what you are.
Right.
A GOAT. And you'll see some detailed stuff coming out soon. And we got the the paraphernalia, the clothing lines, the merch.
Yeah, man, this is amazing.
So you'll be seeing the merch a lot online. If you want to purchase, make sure you hit us, and all the information will be on below. But just wanted to make sure you got a chance. Thank you for coming on in.
Thanks for having me.
You know what I'm saying? We right here at the Davis fight.
Right.
It was a great fight.
Yeah,
Davis won.
Yeah.
And I know they're gonna have a rematch. Right?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Garcia gonna definitely want to have a rematch.
Yeah, listen, man. A lot of people had Garcia, and at the weigh-in, I'm not going to,
Yeah, so you were saying in regards to how the event was in the Davis fight, and I was surprised how Garcia just laid down after he got that one punch in his hip in his side. Kidney shot, like you said. It's a kidney shot.
Kidney shot. The famous.
This
shot
guy's gonna tell you the real because he's an actual former boxer,
right,
and champion. So talk to him.
I particularly said, I took the fight in 7 or 8. Miraculously, the punch came in the 7th round. But the bet was in the 8th, but I took the 7th or the 8th. And with that being said, with Davis getting a knockout, but I had Garcia surviving up into the 7th or 8th, and that's when he got put down in the 7th. I mean, put out in the 7th or the 8th. One of them.
No, he went down. He went down on the 7th.
Yeah,
you had the 8th, and he went down on the 7th.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean, however, with the shot and like you said, you want to see more, and you were saying that you couldn't understand how it just stood there.
Yeah.
But I said from a marketing strategy and him being smart, nobody likes a damaged fighter. So if he, with 2 knockdowns and you already trailing in a fight, he needs a knockout. And he was, and Davis was going for blood. So with that being said, why get back up at that point and get knocked out? You get knocked out of a major fight. Yeah, so you, at least with a knee, you can come back and live the fight another day. They can say, oh, it's questionable, and you got a rematch clause. So, I mean, we're interested to see what happens again. Or he can go on and build himself back up.
And later time.
Yeah, later time.
And he might be a different fighter.
Yes.
Because I guess maybe you can explain that after every fight, it changes you.
Yes.
It's like playing ball. You learn. You can't make that move on that guy.
Right. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You can't cross over in front of him.
Right.
Because he's gonna take the ball.
Yeah.
He got quick hands.
Yeah.
So you got to put it behind your back.
Yeah.
So you, like you're saying in boxing, you got to understand what it takes, right?
Mm-hmm. Tank is special. Nigga, make no doubt about it. Tank is special. Not saying that Ryan Garcia isn't special, but there are levels.
Right.
And as you learn and you grow, because people always believe in out of the perception, they think they can do what I can do. Oh man, he everywhere. Well, I can move in these rooms and I get in the room. But when you get in this room, what can you say? What conversation can you hold?
Right.
If Obama was walking down the street or walking down the hallway and you only had 2 seconds, what would be your opening and your closing with your countermeasure to get him to stop?
So you have to have what you're really saying, and you have to know what your purpose is.
What your purpose is when you're in a room, I've been in the elevator and I've been in a room with Oprah Winfrey. What do you get her to say or to stop? Tyler Perry, any of them, Diddy. And if you get in the room, what do you have to offer them? And even if it's not to offer them, how do you engage with a sensible conversation where he leaves with the indentation of who you are and respect what you said?
Right.
That means a lot. And that's at the next level of networking at your best. A lot of people get in these rooms and they stand around and they'll be like, yo, who's that guy in the corner? Why he just looking there? Then the security gonna approach you. Yo, my man, what's going on? Who you here with? So just getting in the room doesn't mean anything because you can get exited out the room as fast as possible.
Right, as soon as you got in the room.
Because they can tell who belong and who don't.
Yeah,
you scanning around, you got your phone. Wait a minute, get him out of. You're not comfortable.
Yeah.
So when you get in the room, what you gonna do? You got 5 seconds to make an impression, and once you meet a person, you can't come back to them. There was a time where
that's deep. That's a good statement.
Yeah.
Once you meet somebody, you can't re-meet them.
You can't re-meet them. Whatever their indentation of who you are is who you are.
That's who you are.
I was walking down the hallway. It's so funny. I was walking down the hallway and I seen Travis Scott. Shook his hand and said, "Damn, I loved your show, man. This shit was awesome." He said, "Thanks, my G." He dapped me, right? And then he walked by. So as they get ready to go get in the car, it hit me. I said, "Damn, let me get a picture." He said, "You just walked by me." We had 5 minutes. We had a conversation. And I was like, yo, I'll never forget that.
Wow. And saying that, man, we want to close out. Thank you for coming on the official GOAT Museum podcast. You're going to see a lot of us, a lot of stars, a lot of people on the way up. We just want to make sure that people understand that in our community, in our urban communities, we got GOATs. Love y'all. Peace. What's happening, family?
Hey, brother. What's happening, man?
Good to see you. Good to
Always
see you, my
a
brother.
pleasure. Thank
you know, One Punch, man.
Yes,
I've been trying to catch up with
yes,
you, man.
Yes, everywhere,
you know
man. We live, man.
You know, so we down here at the Super Bowl. I caught up. You know, we Eagle fans. I ain't gonna hold you. We real Eagle fans. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to make sure I got to him. You know, he a GOAT in the game. You know what I'm saying? He's done a lot of stuff for the community. Boxer. You know, extraordinaire. Everywhere you want to be, he there.
Right.
So we kind of connected, you know, on a larger level. But I want to make sure I let him know he a GOAT, man. Put the GOAT jacket on.
Oh man, it's a pleasure.
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
Thank you, brother.
You know,
Pleasure, man.
we get ready to turn it up. You know what I'm saying? The official GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Official GOAT jacket, official GOAT museum.
There it is.
The real ones are the GOATs on the sleeve.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got the real GOATs on the sleeve.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Say a couple of words for the people.
All exclusive, never reclusive, man. It's always a pleasure, man, when real recognize real, man. I appreciate it. I've been all around the globe, still knocking down doors every day. We hustling, man, constantly. You know what a grind is when you pushing against something and something constantly keep pushing back. And that's what it is. The calamities in the community, calamities in the streets, the problems, the drugs, but guess what? We knocking it out, man. We knocking out poverty, we knocking out violence, we knocking out all these things, and that's what it's about, man. Everywhere we never there. Why would I ever care, man? Salute the Billy Badass.
Thank you, man.
God,
Thank you.
Man.
And one of the things I want to say is like legacies, man. We got to take our own brothers and sisters and create legacies, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So they have some footsteps to follow.
Right.
You know, we don't have that no more.
Right.
The young brothers is leaving here so soon and they don't know what's going on. So
Right.
the older brothers like ourselves, we got to show the path.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what we doing right now.
It's important, man.
You know what I'm saying?
GOAT
He official GOAT.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.